Hello there. Today I'm talking about my love of comics, and this is Whoopee comic number 1. This came out in 1974. I was actually born in 1974. And the free gift for this issue was a super squirt ring. So you say, "Do you really like to look at my ring?" And then you squirt their face with water. So really, there's a free gift for you. I think you can get that free in a cracker probably these days. And on the cover, it's got Evil Eye, Ad Lad, and a kids competition. Pocket money can be won. It's done the comic in this thinner comic style, but it's very thick pages, so much bigger in Pavino. It's got 40 pages, so you get a lot for your money, and it was 5p. And the logo at that time had the googly eyes. Whoopee is my favourite Fleetway comic, I think because of all the mergers it had. It merged with a heck of a lot of my really good comics like Shiver and Shake, Cheeky, Wow. So it did well in what characters it brought to the comic. In the first page, we've got the contents page because there's 40 pages, and it's got samples of the free gifts for next week, and also it tells you about another gift about Mark Toy Lone Ranger competition and a practical joke. So which practical joke will you get? So it's either a spider, a joke spider, I can't really see from here, things like that. So there's a lot of jokes shops. We could get stink bombs and whoopee cushions. On the next page, I've got Snap Happy, and this is by Mike Lacey, and he did a very detailed style in this era, in the 60s and the 70s. You can see all the detail. This kid is trying to get a scoop for his, I think it's probably, well, he likes to get the best photos anyway. Just the amount of effort these artists put in, and I just hope they were paid all right for it. But they just seem to do it for the love of it, and wanted it, and now we're celebrating them now. So, Mike Lacey, he did loads of covers for annuals and summer specials. Oh, it's just brilliant. Now we've got Little Miss Muffet. So she's always messing things up. But the one I like is called The Ghost Train. This is by Brian Walker. You probably know him from Screaming in Shiver and Shake. His artwork is lots of inks and brush work. It works very well for monsters and ghosts because they have a lot of blacks. So it works very well for him to do ghosts and things like that. And, if Shiver and Shake hadn't merged with Whoopee, this strip would have carried on. And you can see he's used a lot of black. It's just brilliant. Later on, he drew Smasher for the Dandy, and actually was better than the original artist because he's just a brilliant artist. He also drew I Spy, the second artist after Les Barton, and he brought this type of style to the strip. The next one, another one of my favourite artists, is Reg Parlett. This is the Upper Crafts and the Lazy Loafers, and I just love how he draws things from so many different angles, So you got the back of a horse, the front, and then the side. It's just so well done, and no panel is the same. Right? It's so easy to draw the same image again and again, but he moves it all the way around, and it's just so 3D. He's brilliant at drawing animals. See if I can get that last bit in. You see all the dogs licking all the food. Look at that dog leaping out. They're funny characters. Didn't really win me over this strip, but the art is brilliant. I think it's because they're always stealing. But the next strip is Clobber the kangaroo. So he's trying to get back to Australia, I think. And this is Ernie Lerner, and if he always wears an L-plated jumper. He's always trying to learn. He doesn't quite succeed. Okay. Oh, this is a really good artist as well. Graham Allen. It's a spy score, and what's good about it, it's a 2-pager. So you could do longer stories, and it works so well for the theme of spies. So you can have cliffhangers. We even did 2-parters sometimes, so you have to wait till next week to see what happened. It's a great style, and detailed, and it's a shame. One of the losses when it merged with Shiver and Shake was it went to 1 page. It lost its, I don't know, so it was better being 2 pages. And this is the next one, Frank, who drew Cheeky. But this is Luncheon Vulture. And he's a vulture. And his art style, very busy and fun, full of movement. Expressions, and it's just brilliant. But this character didn't last so long because of Shiver and Shake. But he did brilliant stuff in Cheeky and Gaswork Gang. There's so much he did. This is Goon Platoon. That's the next one. It's got kind of Dad's Army flavour. The boy's got his teddy bear. And we've got an old boy with a long beard. And this is a 3-pager, which is a bit. But this was dropped when Shiver and Shake joined, so it wasn't that popular. And this is another really good artist. They're all really good. This is Twy Boy. This is Terry Babe. He had a really appealing style. I think he's a real smiles he does on his characters. There's so many smiles he does. Also in this earlier period, I think he did it all the time actually. The panels are very clear and uncluttered, and it's just pleasing. It just brings back so many memories. Of course, through Oddball for Wizard Chips, and so many characters. And the next one, another good artist. God, how many more good artists are there? This is Sid Burgeon. He drew Joker, of course, in Knockout Wizard Chips later. This is Pop Snorer, and he snores, causes things to happen. You can recognise Sid Burgeon's art style so easily. It's just so good. He actually later drew Beefy the Bear later on in the Beano. But his just art style is just easy to spot and so well done. I think it's just brilliant. They're all had distinguished styles, I think, in those days, which I think it's more fun, and I like that. This is the Lone Ranger. It was in full colour, but it didn't last quite so long, that one. I thought it would be a good thing. Quite funny colouring. So we're in the centre pages. What's next? We've got Stoker, the ship cat, another Terry Babe. He loved drawing cat strips. He did Ginger Tom later. When this cat stayed away, he keeps nicking the food from the ship cook. And this is Right to Whoopee, which they haven't got anything yet. It takes a few weeks before they get any letters. Now this is a really good idea, and I think it's quite bold, but to have a whole page given over to a child to draw their own comic page. It's called Kid Cartoonist. And actually some of the jokes are quite good. This one's about a motorbiker. It's called Scrambling on his motorbike, and he has a crash, and his mum says after he's all injured, "Do you want scrambled egg?" And he runs off. So obviously he doesn't want to be reminded of scrambling motorbike. And this is a Snap Happy picture strip. You have to find where London is. You have to put a dot where you think it is. Then you get another photo until you collect it all together. And a lot of times Fleetway comics were about cutting them up and putting them together. It was kind of make and put together. It wasn't about keeping it intact. So you take the posters out, or the booklets. So there you are. £300 to be won. Wow. This is a Clever Dick and Dozy Mick. This is very early Tom Patterson, who did Sweeney Toddler later and Calamity James for the Beano. And his art style is, of course, he's one of my favourite artists with Leo Baxendale. This is his early days. He's just, when you see his work later on, it's just amazing. But he's at this stage, he's still doing very detailed style. So he's done some very good stuff. And now we got this unusual strip. This is a hint of what was to come in Whoopee later. When Shiver and Shake joined, all the horror stuff came over. This is Evil Eye. And Reg Parlett drew loads of horror strips in this period, and he really enjoyed doing that. And he loved drawing comical monsters, so not too scary. And this is Evil Eye, so it's a bit of a strange one. So he tries to get someone to do evil, but it ends up doing something positive at the end, which annoys the eye. But as again, you can see Reg has drawn the eye different ways, and keeps it going, fresh. This is Barry Appley, before he did Cuddles and Dimples for the Dandy and Hoot and whatever. He's famous for his flying characters like that, with their mouth open and kicked by a horse. This strip sadly got dropped in Shiver and Shake, so that's a shame. But he's another really good artist. I love his good Cuddles and Dimples best. And this is a very surprising one to find in a Fleetway comic, because he's known more for DC Thompson. And that's the Wolf Pack. This is done by Gordon Bell. He did Pup Parade in the Beano. And what I like about Gordon Bell is all the expressions. In each panel, he makes each expression different. They're quite simple, but his animal characters are lovely, aren't they? I love the little paws, their feet, and I love his artwork. The next one is Daisy Jones Locket, I should say. It's a bit of a strange strip, this one, and he doesn't really wish for much. So not a lot happens. And he's not very good at doing it anyway. So it's a very innocent strip. And this is another Graham Allen strip, Super Dad. This was giving you a taster of what's in Whizzer and Chips, as you can see. So a star guest for the comic. So we want you to have a look at Whizzer and Chips at the same time as reading Whoopee. And now, you ready for this one? This is another amazing artist. Oh dear, they're all just amazing, but this is amazing. This is Robert Nixon, and look at the detail on this. I just can't believe it. I think he must have spent ages on doing this artwork. He's definitely on the Roy Wilson type, where very rounded characters, very 3D, and again so clear. And he must have redrew each panel several times until he was happy. And from 1968 to the late 70s, his work was just so detailed and amazing. After that, he still did very good work and very good annual and comics covers, but this was his best period. I wish the company had paid him more and said, look, just concentrate on a few pages and we'll pay you more, because his artwork just deserves him taking his time and his care. But thank goodness he did do what he did, and it's worth collecting the early 70s just for his artwork. And even in the Beano, the early 70s, he did Grandpa and Roger the Dodger, and they're just brilliant. Oh, and just show you, so he actually had 3 pages. And sadly, this strip ended when Shiver and Shake joined. Maybe that's a shame. But when another comic joins, you lose characters and you gain others. But what's another thing about Robert Nixon is he could do really good lettering. He's done it in this old style writing, and can you see the crash? He's drawn that really well. And of course, he did the brilliant Frankenstein in Shiver and Shake at this time, and it was again in this amazing style, detailed style. Oh, it's just brilliant. And this is the last, getting near the end. This is Bumpkin Billionaires. I love these characters. I still do. This is, first of all, drawn by Mike Lacey. But in 1976, Jim Henson took over, and I thought it was Mike Lacey for a long, long time. But it was actually Jim Henson, and he again had that brilliant 3D style of drawing. But Mike Lacey, as you can see in this period, is brilliant detail. And this is Trevor McCarthy, ad lad. So he keeps messing up adverts, trying to be on it. And he was friends with Robert Nixon, and he had a very good art style as well. He drew Sweet Tooth in Whizzer and Chips, and things like that. And Roger and Junior Rotter as well. And the last page, nearly there. He and his nag, that was dropped. And he had a nagging wife who can't stop talking, and he's made her cut the hedge. And they're trying to get you to place a regular order for Whoopee. And now are you ready for the last page? It's Ken Reed, and he did the Wanted posters first of all, and he did amazing detail. I don't know, would you want that on your wall? It'd be Some people would, but I find it a bit creepy. He later did Worldwide Weirdies when Shiver and Shake joined, so it was a new series. They were very, very good, and now they're in book form, of course, so you can collect them all in a book. But I just can you imagine a kid putting loads and loads of posters of this all over their bedroom. I suppose a bit like the Garbage Pail Kids. But, I love his work also because they have a madness about it, and the adults always running in so angry and so that's in other strips, but this is just a single page. So this is Whoopee number 1, and if you like this, I'll do some more videos on other comics I like. Okay, thank you.